Hey guys, it's Bert. I'm gonna do a quick video. I just got finished installing a Nest Hello video doorbell. It took a lot of work. The house is back from the 1800s, and there was a lot of bad wiring and a lot of bad things that were done, and I had to do a lot of things to get this to work right. So this is just a quick walkthrough, just kind of a video journal of everything I had to do to make this a possibility. So you can see here the Nest is on and functioning. So the first thing I had to do was cut right behind here. And the reason being is that originally these wires were very short and they were just bare wire, and as you can see there's no slack on this, so I soldered and added new wire, and this is stapled inside this joist here, so there was really no possibility of running the wire down into the basement, as you'll see when we go down there. This was the biggest problem area. Behind here there was a lot of, all the connections were made back and forth, and it was just framed in and all the wire nuts were there, so there was just no way to pull any wiring through. And Steve, the homeowner, really wanted to keep the original doorbell. I have a temporary doorbell set up here. This was not wired in when I got here. I tried setting it up. It kind of works, but I really didn't want to damage anything. So you can see I did pull a new wire through. Not sure where the trim went, but I was very careful in removing the trim. You can see here they had actually run that trim behind this wood panel. I had to cut this with my multi-tool, so that should go in back pretty cleanly. Obviously all this has to get repaired. Another issue we ran into was the transformer that was in place was burned out when I arrived. And initially both the front and back door were wired to the same transformer. That is no longer the case, but I just want to show you the rear doorbell here, chime, does operate now. And that transformer was right here. Originally there was some different wiring coming back here, which I pulled out, but this is strictly for the back door, this red wire. And there's the transformer. This obviously I had to cut open as it was sealed off, and there was no way to really get at that transformer. And this is kind of where things got a little tricky. Give me a second here. I'm going to put on some booties to go onto the carpet. Put you down for a second here. So I had found wire coming from over here. You can see where I cut off this was the old wire, and this stuff is just crazy brittle. You can see where I ran my new wire up through there. You can see some of it coming back through there. And this was all just in an attempt to figure out where everything was connected. This was originally a spot we thought had been where it would be when I was working with Steve, the homeowner. Obviously, that was just duct work, but this was all nice and cleanly cut, so repairs to this will be reasonably easy. This is the thermostat wire. This isn't anything we did or I did. So here is the new transformer. I got power off of this box. By the way, these transformers were provided by the customer, but the wiring is off of my truck stock. So this is the new wiring I ran. I kept it as tucked up. I did not pull down the old wiring to save on time. I already had a lot to do, but as you can see, I did my best to keep this as tucked up as I could. Here is where things were really, really tricky. It's hard to see, but if you can see it well enough there, that blue wire, I was getting grounding right there. And I mean, this all goes back past this wall. And this is where I made a lot of repairs. You can see all the shrink tape I added to this wire just because, I mean, you touch it and it just falls apart. It's so brittle. And there was just no practical way of getting a wire pulled from that front door. But it is working well. I just kind of want to show that I really went the distance to keep everything as clean as I could. I had a tarp down earlier. I went over with my truck vac, picked up any little tidbits I could find, but you can see the floor is nice and clean. This is the drywall I cut out. So if they come back and want to reuse it, it's just right there. And you can see I did my best to clean the counter with my vacuum. And I mean, it's going to need to be wiped down with Pledge, but everything is in good shape. So that's it. Everything's working good. I'm really proud of the job I did here. This was a situation where I think a lot of guys just would have said, "Hey man, sorry," and just hooked up the nest, the Nest Hello. But now they can keep their doorbell, keep the old doorbell, try to keep the house original. All right, well, you guys take it easy, and looking forward to your feedback.